Ew, 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 ew. Aquarius, darling, how are you? Long time no see. It's been a while. You know, sometimes we need to take breaks. Look at this. I just realized something sitting here. Hey, Melanie. I just realized something sitting here. So, a great friend of mine introduced me to someone, and they gifted me this after I read them. And it was a really beautiful story, very sad, but beautiful in terms of how she's dealing with the hardship. But she gave me this necklace, and this is a piece that I also own. And this is green, but it's a very light shade of green, and they sort of match. I felt like that was just very, like, I don't know, synchronistic or something like that. Anyway, let me get started. I'm doing 3 Romance Angels Oracle cards for you, and I'm also using the Archangel Power Tarot. Yes, I believe that's it. Archangel Power Tarot deck. They're both by Doreen Virtue. I have some playing cards here to clarify anything if you guys would like me to clarify any of the cards here once we've gotten through the reading. And I also have some Lenormand cards to clarify. One card that flipped up is the first one that I'm going to interpret for you, but I would say like, share, and subscribe, please, and comment on the video. And also check out the weeklies that I do every week. You might even want to check the weeklies the week before the week that you're looking at. I'm NYC Kendrick on Instagram, and we're also Providence Tarot. I am, sorry. And I'm also the Tongue Pop if you like food. So, keep an open mind came up from, thank you for liking. Keep the open mind, or keep an open mind, came up from the Romance Angels Oracle deck. And it says, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So for you, Aquarius, I feel like that's, that's something that you actually could get into because there's nothing really expected or usual or what am I trying to say? Predictable about you. You know what I mean? You don't like being predictable, so I wouldn't think that the people that you date would be very predictable people. Possibly, actually, that probably could be someone that other people might not see as interesting, but you might see them as interesting because no one else sees them as being interesting, and that's what makes them interesting. So it's almost kind of like you keeping an open mind in terms of this person that you could possibly see yourself with might actually be a person that no one else thought that they could see you with. But it's not really about them, it really is about you and what you get out of knowing someone or being in a relationship with someone or like just wanting to get to know someone. So, your soulmate sometimes can really just be someone that at the core of them really gets you and really understands you. And this doesn't have to be someone that is unattractive physically or somebody that, has to be extremely odd. You know what I mean? It just means that it's not your necessary first choice. You wouldn't turn your head to look towards this person, or you wouldn't go towards this person. You wouldn't naturally gravitate towards them. But when your souls connect, they are very magnetic. So that's really where the pull comes from. So you might be feeling like that, okay? And soulmates come in many different shapes and sizes, and sometimes you can have more than one soulmate. It just determines what they're meant to teach you karmically, you know. Anyway, I'd have to do more of my soulmate research to really go further into that. So just wait for that one day. At the bottom of the Archangel Power Tarot deck, it is the Nine of Michael, which is the Nine of Swords. This is talking about, worry, right? And it's kind of like a cycle of worry, yeah? It's almost like you're driven to really go inward, right? And try to come up with some answers or try to find some truths about a situation, that might involve, daily life, where it might involve a male person that is very influential in your daily life. And it's just saying that you probably need to just relax a little bit, take a load off, actually, and try not to bring so much focus to this thing or this person or this guy or this, It could be a Virgo. It could be also a Sagittarius. It might be a mutable sign. Definitely a Gemini, or it could be an Aries because it's Mars. Anyway, it's talking about a cycle needing to complete. So you kind of want to satisfy this need for knowledge or this need to understand something. But if you drive yourself crazy over not knowing the answers or all of the answers, because it's a 9, so you almost want to get to the 10. You want to know everything. But it's saying like if you don't know everything, don't try to force it, because as soon as you start to force things, then you sort of call people to react to whatever it is that you're trying to force. And this could be you trying to force someone through communication by constantly asking questions, or this could also be you just trying to find the answer that somebody is trying to get you to get to naturally, right? They want you to naturally get to this place instead of trying to force it. It says your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome you desire. Release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. So you might be worrying that you don't know as much as you thought you did. You know what I mean? Or you don't feel as confident in your knowledge, because the 9s are related to the Hermit, and that does talk about wisdom out of a process and achieving a great deal of knowledge by way of going inward, okay, and discovering some things. And this is talking about discovering some things about yourself that you feel like are actually the truths, instead of what it is that you're demanding to know more about. You need to start to look at why it is that you're demanding to know more about something, because you may not feel as confident within yourself. So you're asking a lot of questions so you can get that response that would give you the answers to make you feel more confident. Okay, you see what I mean? Um, okay. Also, another card is at the bottom of the Romance Angels Oracle deck, and that's stay optimistic about your love life. Hello, darling. Stay optimistic about your love life, Aquarius. You know, it says positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. This is what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of visualizations, right? And this card is almost kind of like visualization, right? Because it's Gemini and it's Mars in Gemini. So you're thinking of things. And when you think of things, you can visualize them. Usually that's what happens. From a thought comes the inspiration and the visualization, right? You can see the act happening. That's why sometimes the wands and the swords kind of have this like interplay of this like boundary that's kind of a little bit blurry between them. But that's just because the thought turns into the, you know, the inspiration comes down to you in the mind, and then you put that into a visualization, which is the action that you haven't physically carried out into a manifestation yet, right? Anyway, but that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with your thoughts and your truths and all of these kinds of things getting in the way of you being able to visualize what you really do want out of life, right? Because it's almost like you might even be feeling stuck in terms of love, or you might be feeling stuck just in general in terms of something. You want to feel like something is fresh for you. You might be feeling like something might be feeling a little stale for you, or you might be feeling like your ways or your ways of thinking are stale, right? And you're trying to come out of this way that you have been thinking, 9 of Michael, for a long time, right? You want to kind of break those habits because it's related to Virgo, which is, you know, that rules the 6th house, which is your house of habits. A 6 or a 9 is a 6 turned upside down, you know what I mean? And this is Gemini, and that's still related to Mercury. So it's about your mind and how you visualize things and how you see things, also how you see yourself. Staying optimistic about your love life. Definitely think that you can have the person that you feel like you deserve, right? If you don't know what it is that you deserve based on the lack of confidence that you might have, you know what I mean, then you can't really fully visualize what you want to get out of something, or what you want to get out of life, or that thing that you want to come towards you. You know, you have to be clear about how you feel about what it is that you want to come towards you in terms of love, so that you can really fulfill that visualization, right? Substantially in your mind. Because sometimes I start thinking about what the person's curves look like, or what their muscles might look like, or what their skin tone might be. You know, I don't know exactly what the race is, you know, or what the nationality is, but I can visualize that one caramel pecan you know, I'm kind of going in. But, you know, that's what you're trying to look for. Virgo sun cross watching for a new Aquaman in my life. Okay. But yeah, you know, visualize those things. The people that you want to come towards you, think about that. If you want them to have certain interests, think about that. If you want them to be a creative person, you can have a creative person. If you haven't met that person or you haven't come across that person in your life, then you might want to change your circle of friends, or you might want to try to make a new friend. You know, when you involve meeting new people, also, this is a 9, you know, and it's Gemini, right? So it's talking about communication, it's talking about Mars. When you allow yourself to stop worrying about what doesn't really matter and you start putting energy and focus into what does matter for you in a positive way, because we're looking for positive self-servicing you know, actions here. We're not looking for things that are deteriorating you, you know, or eroding away at you. And that's what this 9 of Michael is talking about. That's what's happening. And you can't be optimistic with this 9 of Michael because you kind of have to feel like things are going to get better. But this is saying that things have gotten worse before they get better. For some of you, they will get worse before they get better. And it really is just in your mind. It's not like, you know, your life's going to crumble or fall apart because you are worried about this one thing. Honey, sometimes I worry about stuff so hard that it literally has to take me to just like I feel like I'm jumping off a cliff sometimes when I have to like make a phone call or like do something, you know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm afraid of what the outcome is going to be. I'm being real with you guys right now. So sometimes when I have to like do something, I have Saturn and Pluto in my first house. So sometimes when I have to do something, I have to just really push past the fear that it isn't going to work out for me, Saturn, the fear, Pluto, and just do it. And then afterwards, it's like, whoa, that took like 5 minutes. It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I cannot believe I put all of that pressure on myself. Right? It's like we put so much pressure on ourselves, but other people are doing enough of that for you. Okay? And other people are putting enough pressure on you, so don't put extra pressure on yourself. Okay, so now that we got past those 3 cards, let's actually go to the reading. Actually, no, one of the cards was in the reading. It was a clarification card. I'm just going to mix up the general and the love. Wow. Balance. Right? Recalibration. It's an 8 as well. And this is really interesting because, you know, I'm going to speak a little bit of astrology and I'm trying not to go there as much because I read a really dear friend of mine and, you know, a fellow New Yorker. She's born and raised though. And she's Scorpio. And I said, oh, you know, I posted some videos. And she was like, yeah, you know, she probably watches the weeklies more or something. I don't know. But she was talking about the astrology, and I was like, oh, yeah, it does get a little bit brainy sometimes. But, you know, I'm going to try to teach y'all. Anyway, you know, the Justice card is Libra, and, you know, Libra is ruled by Venus. And in some decks, the Justice card and the Strength card are switched, right? Libra and Leo energy is sextile, so it's really a good mix of energy to have. But also, esoterically, Libra is ruled by Uranus, which is a 0, which you know as the Fool card, right? Also, 0, if you twist it to create a little bit more strength in it or see where the weaknesses are and where the strengths are, you get an 8. And the 8 is sometimes, you know, the Justice card. So I'm just giving you kind of like a little window into my mind and how I see this. Anyway, the Justice card is talking about balance. It's talking about fairness. It's talking about fairness to oneself within a process, and it's allowing yourself not to be swayed by maybe an injustice or someone's intention to maybe to propose an injustice. You know what I mean? It could be someone's idea of an injustice or not being fair, and this is you trying to talk somebody into what is fair, or this is you trying to convince yourself and others of what is fair in a situation or a scenario, because the 8 is really talking about weaknesses. It's also talking about strengths, and it's also talking about self-control. Okay, Fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor, don't give up. Right? So this is also saying that you need to not bite off more than you can chew. This is also saying that you need to be gentle, okay, to yourself, and you need to understand that other people are not going to be as balanced as you need them to be for you, and you're not going to be as balanced as people need you to be for them all the time. So you need to practice a little bit of compassion because this is Venus. You need to also think about how you respond and react to other people and how other people respond and react to you, because then you'll be able to calibrate yourself, scale 0 when it is balanced, the Fool card, Uranus, esoterically. Then you'll be able to feel like everything is working in a very harmonious way, sorry. One of those people making up words. In a very harmonious way, okay? The challenge in terms of the fairness and being able to see the truth within the fairness and ask questions to oneself to come up with real truths and logical ways to process these truths. The Seven of Raphael. The sevens are talking about seeing a victory towards or out of a conflict, right? So this is saying you're challenged by being, in a conflict, but you're trying to work things out because it's the Justice card, but then it's covered by a 7, which goes back to the 7th house, and it goes back to Venus. This 7 in Raphael is Venus in Scorpio. Scorpio is talking about strengths and weaknesses, just as an 8 is. It's also talking about the courage to acknowledge one's weaknesses and also be forgiving of other people's weaknesses. And when a situation becomes toxic, that's how you get to see where the weaknesses lie within everyone that's involved, because it's a 7, so it's talking about sharing, we, us, people, a community. It's a 7, which is related to the Chariot. That's talking about stability and security within the emotions in order to assert oneself confidently and move forward, right? So that you can get yourself out of any feelings of doubt, right? That's how your confidence helps you. And it's an 8, so it still is related to courage and confidence and strength. And this 7 is talking about being receptive to understanding intuitively why it is that certain things happen and why it is that we start to question ourselves when we are challenged and tested by our relationships and the toxicity that it sort of generates and that is cultivated within a relationship. Okay, you need to be fair to yourself because you understand that that is actually the karma of being in a relationship, is that you start to uncover these things about each other that actually start to make things toxic. So you also have to clean things out. You have to detoxify. You have to do it for yourself so that it can then affect and help your relationships in a meaningful way. And you too, because it really is about everyone winning out of the need to detox within an experience that people are sharing together, that they're being affected by emotionally. And this could be with somebody from the past, because this is 7 of Raphael, so it is talking about Scorpio energy. You might not be feeling optimistic about your love life because of the memories from the past and the way that it still haunts you, right? Just in your feeling and in your heart and your confidence. It says time to make a decision, because the 7s are talking about decision. Libra is talking about making decisions. Hey, 7s are talking about making decisions, being clear on what you want, and take action on that. A need for detoxification. If you feel like You know, there is a need to balance the situation out because the 7 is talking about the 7th house and balance, and it's also talking about victory, right? So you want to achieve victory by, getting back to a sense of balance, feeling like things are fair to you again. Don't give up, okay? So now let me look at your sun position. Actually, no. Yeah. Right now, are you dealing with an Aries Aquarius? Because you both are feeling tired. You know, you guys might be both involved in the same scenario or the same situation. Maybe you guys are both being very helpful to a situation, you know. This is also saying that you need help, right? You need to allow yourself to see how other people can help you when they are helping you. If someone's trying to give you advice or someone is maybe jumping in to help you or jumping in to give their ideas or give their say so, then try not to respond in a way that is flippant or reactionary, because this is fire and fire signs are reactionary, and it's Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is talking about going from 0 to 60. And if you let your passions get in the way of, you know, your focus and what you're focused on and what your intention is, then it might be more of a burden to you than helpful. Okay, so really allow yourself to see where you can put something down so that others can sort of pick it up and do something with. If somebody's giving you their input, maybe you should consider it. Take the risk. It's going to feel like a risk of, a creative risk, right? Because it's like they might be giving you an idea about something and you may not want to do it, but it's because it's a risk, and you don't feel like it aligns with who you are. You know what I mean? It's almost like you feel like more dignified right now, or you feel like you would be compromising parts of yourself or your dignity if you allowed someone to help you or give you input on something that you were doing yourself. Okay? And it's saying that you shouldn't feel like that because we're all here to relate to each other. Eight is, you got the Justice card and you got the 7 of Raphael. We're all here to relate to each other, you know what I mean, and influence each other. And that's why Saturn is actually exalted in Libra, okay? Because, it's you're learning from the relationships, and when you learn from the relationships and the people that you are involved with, everybody, every single person, even the people outside, that's Aquarian though. That's you. Um, that's not necessarily Libra. Libra's kind of like one-on-one relationships, and Gemini is kind of like youthful, young relationships, quick things, and Aquarius is like everybody else out there. But this is saying that you learn from that, from your relationships, and Saturn teaches you how to evolve as a person over time. Through your efforts that you apply. When you apply though that wisdom that you get from the sevens and the victories and accomplishing things within your relationships. They show you things about yourself, what you're capable of, and then that broadens your perspective on where you can go, who you can meet, what you can do. And this is saying that you need to definitely broaden your perspective in terms of like changing your focus and being adaptable to changes that are actually going to help you get closer to your goal rather than be a setback for you. Okay? Um, this reading is giving it, y'all, and it's like at the beginning, I thought I had somewhere to go, child. I'm gonna shower and get the hell out of here when I'm done. I ain't doing no laundry today, I know that's for sure. Aquarius. Okay. Yes. Ooh, honey. You're in Aquarius. Scorpio is your 10th house. And the 10th house is career, money, and, just your place in the world and how you have succeeded and where you have gone. So you guys are thinking about that because we're about to have a full moon on May 18th, right? In Scorpio. And this is after the 2 Libra full moons that we just had. So you had some endings and you had some beginnings. That's probably what these 2 cards that are related to Libra, and what they're doing here. The death card. Sorry, I don't even think I said it, but you got peace. It's called peace in this deck. And it's talking about feeling like the transformation is actually underway, visualizing yourself in that transformation. The one is the magician, the visualization, the awareness, the inspiration, right? And then you bring that into the mind, and that's the visualization, and you're acting, you're creating it in the mind, right? The fear is created in the mind, right? Pushing past the transformation, right? Because the 1 is the magician, and then the 3 is the empress. She's pregnant, pushing past the awareness of what it's going to be, what it's going to take for you to create something new, to feel complete, right? You want to feel complete. And that's what this is talking about, emotions, wanting to feel complete. And you're going to feel the weight of this moon because it's in your house of career, right? You know, and however, you know, this, we're in Taurus season, and Taurus was the 2nd house, which is talking about earned income, which, you know, the 2nd house is trined the 10th house. But, you know, natally for you, it's going to be, oh, actually it's fixed. So natally for you, there's something going on there. I would definitely watch, for you, Aquarius, full moon and Scorpio videos. You know, when I go into my moon videos, I'm talking about the energies. I don't necessarily get into the degrees, but I would definitely probably watch this astrologer. His name is Rick. It's Rik. And then there's another astrologer who's really great. She's called Molly McCord. Those are 2 that I know show you the charts and the degrees. And, you know, I told her the other day, I put a little comment in about the pen, because I'm like, oh, that pen, you know, even when people like give readings and they tap, tap, tap with their nail, it like so totally annoys me. But those astrologers are really good. There's other people that I watch too, where I'm thinking about those in particular. So see what that full moon in Scorpio is going to mean for you. But it's going to talk about a transition and a transformation, and your awareness of what you're going to have to assert yourself towards, so that you can create this new aspect of who you are in your professional life, in your career, and also in your relationships too. Because, you know, the 10th house for you is opposite Leo, and that is, you know, your will and your creativity. So your Leo, if Leo is Leo, what's your 4th? No, Taurus. Taurus is your 4th house. I'm sorry, right? Scorpio is your 10th house, and Taurus is your 4th house. And we just had a new moon in your 4th house of home and family, security, you know, confidence, and also just the confidence to move forward in life, and where that base is for you. What are the influences within your stability, what are the influences from your childhood that are promoting, you know, self-stability in your future? That really is kind of like what the 4th house is talking about. So you might have been dealing with some of that recently, because it's just been a few days ago that we had that new moon in Taurus. So now we're going to have that full moon in your 10th house, and this is a very active time of the year for you, Aquarius. It's very interesting. So yeah, you're definitely going to be pushing past some fears and pushing past some ways that you've gotten in your own way. You're evolving past some things. Some of you guys are feeling, you know, more mature. You're feeling like you are going to have to accept your weaknesses so that you can embrace your strengths, which are going to make you feel like more of a leader in your own life. And it's going to bring you a new level of confidence and passion within yourself, and what you're able to, and your power, right? It's a power play with you. If I was doing titles this month, I would name it Power Play. You got the Tower in your past, so something happened in your past, and it may have to do with these relationships and feeling challenged within relationships and finding love, and when you meet new people and feeling threatened by them, and any little thing that happens that triggers you emotionally that comes from your toxic past. And it's not even like toxic, like there was like alcohol and drugs, maybe for some of you, but it's toxicity. There can be toxic communication. What are you saying to me? Why are you saying it? Are you using your communication as a weapon? Right? Are you pretending to be involved with people because you're flirting with them? That's toxicity within the emotions. You know what I mean? So it's like toxicity does not just come in the form of substances that people get codependent on. Toxicity comes from all around. We get it every day. I got on Instagram today when I woke up, which I shouldn't have done, but I got to see how well business is doing. And you know, you see stuff and you're like, damn, somebody posted that? I mean, like, now there are social issues that we do need to talk about, and there are health issues that we need to talk about. And there are, you know, there's creativity that we want to continue to promote and self expression and, you know, freedom of, you know, whatever. Um, but some things are just very extreme. Anyway, but those are toxic things that we pick up and we absorb all through the day. When you experience road rage, when the lanes are shut down or they're closed, right? That's toxic energy that's coming in and it's affecting you. You don't even know it. You're just responding and reacting to your day. You're not seeing it as toxicity because it's always coming in. It's when you are able to identify the toxicity, the one, that you're able to create positivity out of that. Don't be afraid of facing what it is that is destroying, that is destructive. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to destroy. So you got to shut it down. You probably did. Something was shut down in the past. Something stopped. There was a revelation. You broke out of your oppression. You understood what the oppressive energy was in your life. You did something about it. You got you got Mars and Gemini here. Then you've got Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, and Pluto, which is the higher octane of Mars. Then you got the Justice card here, which is Venus, but its nemesis is Mars, right? It's opposite. Then you got Mars again here, right? And that's, you know, very external energy. You know, this is change, sudden change. You're aware of, you know, how something has been um the harmony has been taken out of something, or the balance within structure has changed. You have now you know the truth about something that was constant, that was consistent, but it was a conflict, right? It's almost like there was something that wasn't working underneath the surface or under the foundation of something. At the foundation of something, there was a conflict. There was a crack within the foundation, and you were aware of that thing just as you were aware of the nose on your face. Okay? And that thing was around every day to remind you of what needed to change. You didn't change it. It changed for you. You broke free of that. And now, like I said, you have to embrace, you have to release something so that you can embrace something else. I forget what that was. Go back earlier in the video and you'll see. But this says a sudden revelation that offers freedom. Break free of procrastination. Embrace the opportunities that change brings. Okay, honey. Let me continue to move on. Let me flip over the rest of your love cards. Unrequited love. Who is feeling someone that they fear they can't express it to, or that they fear they've held this back from for too long, that they just can't say anything because the other person has obviously not said anything, so they're obviously not into you. Well, no, they might be into you, it's just that it's not happening because the powers that be haven't like deemed it possible. It says there's not enough chemistry or attraction to keep this relationship going. You got a Pisces. Oof. Pisces and Aquarius, okay, they're adjacent. Yeah, Mercury is debilitated in Pisces, but Mercury is exalted in Aquarius. Sorry, guys. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So yeah, something changed in the past. It brought balance to you now, but you're just kind of like trying to detoxify from that. And also, when you learn how to deal with toxicity on a regular basis, you learn to accept toxicity from other things that come into your life that are new, or things like that. So then it's kind of like you're going to have to approach these new situations with addressing toxicity or learning how to diffuse it or filter it out, because it's not like that one thing that you experienced that was toxic in the past will be the only thing, because now you have had your toxic experience. No, there will be others, and you yourself will create toxic energy for other people and for yourself. It's just being aware. Okay. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So this is for you guys who need to keep an open mind about your soulmate, or those of you who definitely need to stay optimistic about your love life. If you guys have this unrequited love that you feel it's not getting anywhere, and you're worried about it, and you have a fear of, breaking past speaking about it and communicating to this person because you fear that the change that it's going to initiate is going to be too much for you to deal with, then do it. Because then at least you'll know. You won't be stuck. Look, I need to listen to this myself. My Venus is in Leo, but it's my 11th house. Um, so my Venus is my 11th house, ruled by Aquarius. Yeah, just express this. Express these feelings, to someone. Or if you feel like you got to shut something down, express that. If you feel like it's not getting anywhere with this unrequited love, express that you're going to have to stop pretending like you guys are dating. Not in a mean way, but like actually act like friends. And don't act like, wow, we might be together one day. Or stop thinking that. You know what I mean? Because that's creating toxic energy. Like I said before, you can do that for yourself. When you're like, oh, imagining, daydreaming about somebody that you don't got no business daydreaming all that stuff about, that they really are just kind of like your friend, but like you guys know you like each other, but it's unrequited. So it's like it's not going anywhere, but you appreciate and you respect each other and you enjoy each other's company. So don't think about what it's going to be like in 10 years when you guys have a dog and all this shit. You know what I mean? Or a cat or snakes. Sorry. I was watching Wendy earlier, and she was some girl, and Ask Wendy said that she was marrying somebody that was a funeral director, and he had 60 snakes. That's very Scorpio. Anyway, I digress. So now I can flip over your anxieties. Mm-hmm. Your Mars, good. Your Venus. Ooh, bottom row gives it usually. So, Aquarius. In your anxieties, you have the Six of Michael, which is the Six of Swords. And this is what I just spoke about a few minutes ago, Mercury in Aquarius, which is exalted, which is meaning that it's extracting the best qualities, you know, from the place that it's in, or that sign is extracting the best qualities from Mercury. You have anxieties within the communication and how that is going to move you forward. Like I just said, you fear what the truth of this expression is going to uncover for you, and you're going to have to move forward from that place. You can't get stuck. So if you really need to and you really want to express this thing to this person that you feel like you're having feelings for, you know and I'm not getting that this is someone that you work with. Okay, so if this is some of you guys who work with someone, then I haven't picked that up, but this is for people who don't have that thought that they work with this person. um Yeah, say it, because then you might actually be pleasantly surprised. Because Mercury definitely brings surprises, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and that's surprises, right? You never know. It says, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans, relocation, or travel. Okay? Some of you might have some fears about moving, changing up the scene, changing up the spot that you've been living in, you know. And it's saying that you might get a more enriching experience moving forward past something that you've already experienced. You know what I mean? And that's good. This is talking about it within that friendship that might become something more, or within a scenario that you are trying to create things in your life and you want to try to move forward. Yes, don't be afraid of moving on, honey, because moving on means that you're growing, right? Moving on is definitely growth. You've gotten somewhere, right? You've gotten somewhere that you haven't been before. That's for sure. Okay. Hello. Cute. I love it. Okay, so you guys are coming out of some rough times. You have a fear about that, but it's happening. You're coming out of that rough patch, whatever it is, you know, in that thought, in your mind. The Ace of Gabriel is very potent energy here in the Mars position, and it's talking about the awareness of how you assert yourself when given the opportunity to do so, and how you are going to now get to the next step to go from one place to the other. It's a starting point for you guys. This could have to do with fiery energy, Aries, Leo, or Sag. This is a gift from the universe, right? This is a gift from the divine, from God, and it's saying that here's some energy that I'm going to put in front of you. It's that feeling of something being combustible, you know, it's very inspiring because it's an ace, so it's related to Mercury. This is supporting the Six of Michael, which is Mercury in Aquarius, and it's also supporting. Do you have any tens here? It's also supporting this Ten of Gabriel, right? Because the Ten of Gabriel is in the Sun position, so you're going to assert some part of your will to create something or get something to happen, to shift and change for you, because Saturn is very earthy, and then it's in Sagittarius, so changing something to move forward in a new direction. And this new direction is going to give you a sense of energy, inspiration, excitement, enthusiasm. It's a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration. The chance to do something amazing, a sense of wonder. Some of you guys might actually have sex. That Ace of Gabriel money. Okay. Anyway, ooh. Am I still going? Unfroze. Unfreeze. Could you guys tell me if I'm frozen or not? Let me know. Can you see me? Type something in, please. Froze, but it's still a cute spot on. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully it'll stop or get back there. Oh, love you guys. So, in your Venus position, you have the Queen of Raphael, which the queens are ruled by the Empress, which is Venus, right? So, this is saying that you're thinking about how you can be, you know, kind to yourself, more loving to yourself. Venus is also talking about relationships and how you are affected by your relationships. Venus also rules Taurus. We're in Taurus season right now. It's talking about emotional security within your relationships. You're using your intuition, right, within those relationships. Um, it's also talking about your ability to see things clearly and you being, emotionally responsive to that, to being able to see things clearly. This is double water, so this is a need to express. So definitely use your creativity to express yourself in a loving, honest, and gentle way, caring, right? Generous way. Also, understand that you have to protect yourself in ways as well. So, whereas you stay very receptive and open to others and you offer, moments of kindness or actions of kindness, you still have to protect yourself in that way. So don't sacrifice your protection for the love that you give to others. Follow your heart, a love of home and family, trustworthy psychic information. Okay, so this full moon in Scorpio is in your 10th house. Your fourth house right now is where the sun is. So it's saying that your intuition might have been your empathy, right, has picked up probably, and you're getting a great sense of feeling probably. You might be feeling the solar plexus and the heart chakra. Some of you guys might be drawn to the color yellow or green. It is springtime. So that's something as well. Definitely wear those colors or blues, yellow, greens, and blues. Um, yes, it says follow your heart, a love of home and family, trustworthy psychic information. I think I already said that. And there just happens to be an amethyst here near that. Okay, so let's look at your future cards, the outcome and the energy moving forward. And then I also have the Eight of Michael here in the future. And then I have the sun at the top. All right, y'all. And I didn't even know that was a sun. And my sun card is a little bit damaged. I like bent it like Beckham one day, and it kind of like split because these are very robust. So I had to like tape it and laminate it a little bit, but it's good. It's holding up. So in the future, from where you are now in terms of trying to detox and balance things out and recalibrate within your emotional process, you are going to break free of the confines of your mind that this Nine of Michael had you under. You were cloaked in worry with this Nine of Michael. And in the future, the Eight of Michael is saying, it's Jupiter and Gemini. Whereas you were feeling driven to worry, now you're breaking free of the worry and you've expanded and you've broadened your inspiration and your perspective. So now you can see that you are free from these thoughts and you can really be more courageous in making choices for yourself. And now you're not held prisoner by the weaknesses of your, the weaknesses of your thoughts and the lack and the fear of your thoughts. It's kind of like the truths that you understood about what you were afraid of and what that kind of like brought to light for you. It says you can be free, make a courageous choice to change your situation, not seeing things clearly. So you could have been afraid of an idea, but you had an experience that was separate from what made you fear your thoughts, and that helped you to evolve and break free of the fears that you had developed from a past experience. It had nothing to do with that. But it was something that you experienced that allowed you to assert your will in a different way to transform this energy. Okay, okay. Oh, a key. It unlocked. So it was the experience was the key that helped you unlock something in your mind, right? But you had to have the experience happen and receive the key of inspiration within that experience. Okay? Well, all right. um, Now, in the energy moving forward in the outcome here, you've got following your passions, okay, with the page of Gabriel. He's very energetic, right? You got the ace of Gabriel here, you've got the 10 of Gabriel, and you've got the page. So this is saying that you are changing phases. You are turning over a new leaf in terms of what you are able to do. Create. It talks about career passions. It talks about passionate um, development. It talks about development of oneself and being very participatory in your own self development. You are going out and you are trying to create opportunities that are going to help you learn and enrich your experience, your person, and your life. It says, follow your passion. You are ready for a challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. You might be doing something that you haven't done before, and you're feeling very enthusiastic and excited about it because you feel like you're challenging yourself, and it's a challenge that you definitely are up for, and you feel very brave, and you feel like, wow, I'm expanding myself, and I'm getting more out of life by allowing these chances and these opportunities to show me things about myself that I didn't know before, and that's really great. So you got the sun at the top here, yes. Just going back to what I just said, creative will, expressing yourself, the awareness of what you have discovered about you that was already there before the sun. It's what's already been passionately burning inside at the core of you, right? And it comes from some place that you have already been, okay? And that has allowed you to change your philosophies about yourself and about life, and it makes you appreciate life in a different way, in a more complex way. It's more of a mosaic, right? And you have to really look at it to appreciate all of it. But when you step back from it, it's still a gorgeous picture, right? It creates something else for you. Creating opportunities, started a brand merging timelines, feel like a true co-creator. There you go. Right, so now you're showing yourself who you are and a new part of yourself that you haven't been, but you always were, that you always could be. Okay? Right. Why are you trying to freeze my video? Not you, not you, not you, not you. I'm talking about whoever it is. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot, for sure, you guys. And NYC Kendrick NYC. And if you like delicious pictures of food, then the tongue pop as well. I posted weekly videos for this week. They're on Instagram and they're also here. Last week videos, I put a special effect, so it's got that like illustrated drawn effect. I don't think it got a lot of views because people were probably like, what is this? But you know, I'm working on that view thing. The views used to be a lot more. Some changes happen, changes occur, but we're rebuilding and I am doing things my way. And if anyone out there in the YouTube world doesn't like that, then I would like to just send you even more love than you've been giving and have gotten in your life. Take the love, darling. And let's burn some sage on that for all y'all haters out there, whoever they are. And I know none of you guys are in the room, but we want to spread love to everyone. And I feel like that's something that we definitely need, right? That we definitely need to do around this Scorpio full moon, because some people are fearful of things that they think they cannot change, that they are intimidated by, And it's okay. Realize that you can't change everything, and you will be intimidated by some things, but also know your worth. It's good to know what other people are worth as well, but it's also good to know your own. I love you guys. I will see you soon. If you want to get a reading from me in person, I read at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery in New York City. Bloop. On East 14th Street. The address is 230 East 14th between 2nd and 3rd Avenues. East Village, Union Square, NYU area. NYU students, come out and see me. All right, bye, you guys. I'll leave information in the description.